Women are like cats. Women are feline by nature. And if you don't understand what that means, you constantly find yourself getting confused in relationships. You'll feel like things are going well one day, and then the next day something shifts. The energy changes, the responsiveness changes, and you're left wondering what happened, what you did wrong, and how to fix it. That confusion alone is enough to drive most men into making mistakes, actually make the situation worse. Hello, I'm Jay El Camino. Why El Camino? Because it's the only Spanish I know. Now today we're going to explore something that a lot of men sense but don't fully understand, and that is the timeless truth that women are feline by nature, or otherwise stated, women are like cats. Now, before anyone gets upset or breaks out the pitchforks, I'm not saying this as a put down. I'm not saying this to reduce anyone. I'm saying this because when you observe real world behavior patterns, this explains a lot of what men experience in dating and relationships. Think about a cat for a moment. A cat comes and goes as it pleases. It doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't explain itself. It shows up when it wants something. Food, warmth, affection, attention. It'll come over, rub against you, purr, engage, and make you feel like it wants to be right there with you. And then, when it's had enough, it leaves. Not because it hates you, not because something's wrong, but simply because that's its nature. It values its independence, and it moves according to how it feels in the moment. Now think about your communication and your experiences with women. When a woman is highly interested, communication flows easily. She reaches out, she responds quickly, she engages with you. It feels natural, almost effortless. You don't have to force anything. It just sort of floats. And you don't have to wonder where you stand because the behavior makes it clear. But then, at some point, maybe you notice a shift. Her responses slow down. The enthusiasm isn't quite the same. There's a slight pullback. And most men, when they feel this, immediately react in a way that works against them. What most men do in that moment is they lean in harder. They try to fix the change in energy by increasing their own effort. They text more. They call more. They try to be more attentive, more available, more everything. They believe that if they just put in a little more effort, that can bring things back to how it was. But what they don't realize is that this is the equivalent of chasing a cat around the house, trying to force it to sit in your lap. The more you try to control it, the more it pulls away. And imagine that. Imagine constantly picking up a cat, petting it every 5 seconds, not letting it breathe or move freely. Eventually, it's going to resist. It's going to avoid you. It's going to create distance. It's the same principle. When someone feels smothered, they pull away. Not because they hate you, but because they need space. The key idea here is you have to allow space. You have to allow movement. You have to let things breathe. That doesn't mean that you have no standards or boundaries. It doesn't mean you tolerate disrespect, but it does mean that you don't try to force consistency where there naturally isn't any. Because attraction doesn't operate on a fixed schedule. It fluctuates. It ebbs and flows. And that is completely normal. Now this doesn't just apply in early dating. It shows up in relationships as well. Attraction is not a constant, steady line. Nobody, man or woman, is going to feel the exact same level of interest every single day. There's going to be natural dips and highs. The problem is not the dips themselves, it's how you respond to them. And if you overreact to a normal fluctuation, you can turn something minor into something significant in a bad way. So let's say you've been seeing a woman for a few months, and you notice a slight decrease in her level of engagement. Nothing dramatic, just a subtle, small shift. So most men will instinctively try to close the gap by leaning in, but the correct move is actually to do nothing or even the opposite. You don't overcorrect. You don't chase. You maintain your center. You stay focused on your own life, your own priorities, your own purpose, and you either maintain things exactly as you have been, or you pull away slightly, just slightly, not in a reactive or an emotional or a butthurt way, but in a grounded, natural way. Just like a man who has things going on. Oh, you busy? Oh, okay, well, that's great. I got time to, do some more stuff and do some projects. So here is the difference. Here is something that most men struggle with. They ask, how do I tell the difference between normal ups and downs, i.e. ebb and flow, and a real steady decline in interest? So the answer to that is time and pattern. With natural ebb and flow, she'll come back around. There's a rhythm to it. There's a return, like a boomerang. Maybe she gets busy, maybe she goes quiet for a few days, maybe almost a week, then she re-engages. That's normal, that's healthy. But if you step back and look over a longer period of time, and you see a steady decline, less effort, less engagement, less enthusiasm, then you're looking at a trend, not a fluctuation. Then you have to take it seriously, not by reacting emotionally. Why are you doing this? Why are you backing off? Because she often won't know herself. She won't know why she's losing attraction. That's for you to figure out and resolve. But anyway, you want to observe reality clearly and recognize that something has changed. So here's the part that a lot of men don't want to accept. Sometimes the change has nothing to do with you. It could be another guy. It could be some guy from her past who's sort of like back on the scene trying to make his move, and then there's a shift in her feelings. She's a little confused. It could just be timing. It could have nothing to do with other guys. But for whatever the reason, chasing harder doesn't fix it. It usually makes it worse. And this is where discipline comes in. So discipline is the ability to control your reaction in the moment for a longer, better, long-term outcome. So your instinct will be to chase, to fix, to push, to get answers, to get clarity, to get closure. But discipline says pause, observe, stay grounded. Let reality reveal itself instead of trying to force it. Your attitude must remain calm and centered. If she is emotional, if she pulls back, if things feel uncertain, you have to be the stable one. Not cold, not robotic, but grounded. Because if you mirror instability with instability, everything escalates, nothing improves. And here's another truth, a brutal truth. Attraction is not built through effort alone. It's built through how you carry yourself. Early on, when you're relaxed, not overinvested, and just present, things flow easily. But as soon as you become dependent on the outcome, as soon as your emotional state starts depending on her responses, your behavior changes. And she feels that, even if you never say a word about it. And this is why staying centered is everything. Not as a tactic, not as a game, but as a way of being. Because when your life is full, when your focus is not entirely on her, when you are grounded in your own direction, you naturally create space. And that space allows attraction to grow. Don't you get it? She can't feel attraction for you as a man if she is the stronger one. It is vital to the male-female energy dynamic that you be the stronger one. Now, even if you don't feel it inside, you act it anyway because you must or you lose her. So here is something even more important. Sometimes, even when you do everything right, things still don't work out. And that's reality. Not every situation is meant to last. Not every connection is meant to grow. And no amount of effort can force something that isn't there. This is where self-respect comes in. Because when something is clearly declining over time and you continue to chase it, you don't risk losing her, you risk losing yourself. And that is never, never worth it. Confidence is not loud. It's not aggressive. It's not about controlling someone else. Confidence is calm. It's the ability to sit in uncertainty without reacting. It's the ability to feel a shift and not panic. It's the ability to say, if this works, great. If it doesn't, I'm still good. And that's what changes everything. So when we say that women are like cats, what we really mean is that you cannot force attraction. You cannot control it. You cannot chase it into existence. You can only create the conditions where it naturally grows. And you have to be strong enough to allow that process to happen without interfering with it. So if you take anything from this, it's this. Don't chase the ups and downs. Don't panic when things dip slightly. Watch the overall trend, not the moment. And most importantly, stay grounded in your own life. Because the more centered you are, the less you'll feel the need to control something that was never meant to be controlled in the first place. If you got any value from this, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.